Hey, I wanted to hop on here really, really quickly because it is my lunchtime, guys. I'll be doing these lunchtime lives, hoping that my employers don't. I'm on lunch, okay? I cleared it. I ain't still in no time. But anyway, I was having a conversation with several people this week, and it has been a consistent, ongoing theme, right? Of people doing this pattern of self sabotage. In other words, if you don't know what self sabotaging is, it's when you consciously or unconsciously see yourself heading towards an outcome that you want and then you blow it up. It's like you can see it. You can, and it's easy for other people to notice it outside of yourself. This concept, like, okay, you said you wanted X. I do this a lot because I see this a lot. Part of my job as a therapist is to see where people say they want one thing and their behaviors, their actions, what they're doing is inevitably pushing them in the opposite direction. And so it caused me to meditate, to ruminate, to process, why do we self-sabotage? What is it about us that we say we want something? We see it on the horizon. We see it on the precipice. We see it coming towards us and then it's like, "Oh no, I'm gonna run to the other direction." And I'm like, it is so common. It's not even like, okay, this is an abnormal thing or this is something that only certain subsets of people do. No, I have seen highly functional individuals and those struggling both perform the same action of self-sabotage. Sometimes I think it comes from this position. I call it the fear of success and the fear of failure meeting at the same time. So yes, you want to be successful. Yes, you want to move forward. However, it's also a fear that if I get to that place, if I get meet that marker, if I meet that goal, then I will have to maintain that level of functioning, and that is scary to me. So I've seen people kind of, and myself too, you get to this place where you're like, okay, okay, I might be successful at this. Now let's blow it up. Just blow up the whole thing. Just blow up the whole thing. The other thing is low self worth. I was having a conversation with someone this week, and one of the things I asked them is, do you believe you deserve to have the thing that you say that you want? Hey, Miss Lynn, oh, she caught me on the live. And so we're just talking really quickly about self sabotage. Um, this whole concept of low self worth. That do you believe that you actually deserve what it is that you're after? For example, if you desire love and deep, rich relationships, do you actually believe that you are a person that deserves that? Because when we don't, we will self sabotage. I see this a lot in relationships where there is mistrust or distrust, right? And when you have that distrust and mistrust, what you'll do is you'll kind of be in the relationship but with one foot out the door. And so inevitably what that does is recreates the environment that you fear. So if I fear abandonment, if I fear rejection, I only put half of myself in the relationship, and then what happens? The other person feels that, and subsequently they're one foot in, and what happens? I feel abandoned. I feel rejected. And so sometimes we self sabotage because we don't really believe we are entitled to have the thing that we said that we wanted. And so my encouragement to you, who, if you feel like you have low self worth and low self value, process that as you get into relationships. Okay. The other thing, again, super common. Ask me, ask me how I know. Is past trauma and conditioning. So you've been doing this. Hey, Miss Michelle. Oh, y'all all caught the live. Y'all must all be on your lunch time break. Um, hey, is the past trauma and conditioning. So sometimes we self-sabotage because it's all we know to do. It is all we know to do. We are trapped in a cycle of trauma. We're trapped in a cycle of conditioning. I have been taught from a young age, I'll use myself as an example. A lot of times in my family, we did not talk about feelings and emotions. Okay, we talked about function, we talked about performance, we talked about goals, we talked about goal setting, we talked about just achievement. We did not talk about feelings. And so, whether I realize it or not, that is my, like, the therapists that don't like talking about feelings, that is my what would you call my modus operandi? That is my fail safe. That is the thing that I am most comfortable doing. If I get upset with something, the first thing I'm gonna do is shut down. I don't talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. I want to move on. I want to go to the function part. And that self-sabotages, because I know at the end of the day, you cannot maintain a relationship if you are not willing to be vulnerable and to talk about feelings, right? To process feelings, to access your feelings. But that is the environment I grew up in. Did my grandmother, those that cared for me, raise me, love me? Absolutely. But I didn't hear it a lot. They didn't say it a lot. They showed, they didn't say. And so sometimes that's my function. So when we are self-sabotaging, we have to ask ourselves, why are we doing this? Is this because I Miss Michelle said she in a meeting, but she wanted to support really quickly. Thank you, Miss Michelle. Don't get in trouble on my behalf. I had told the people in the beginning I was getting on here real quick because I was on my lunch break, and I already told my boss I was on my lunch break. So just in case she catch the live, I'm not stealing no time. But don't get in trouble. Thank you for the support. So what I was saying is that sometimes we replicate the environment in which we were growing up in, whether or not we realize it. And so we have to really take a moment to process early childhood, teenage, trauma, all of that. We have to process that stuff so it doesn't keep popping up in our relationships. Again, I shared this. I don't like feelings. I don't like them. Okay? I would rather not. And most people say this. If I'm gonna pray for you, that's the only time you can catch me. Well, it ain't the only time because I'm getting healed. But I'm gonna cry real quick. I guess that's the only time I feel like it's okay to cry. But feelings and emotions can be difficult. But if we don't express them, if we don't process them, if we don't say them, what happens is we will inevitably recreate that environment, and then we will self-sabotage those relationships. And the last thing I'm gonna say, because it's 7 minutes and I ain't gonna be on here long, you ain't gonna catch me slipping. Last thing that I want to say is sometimes we self-sabotage because we unconsciously are holding on to this idea of power and control. And sometimes when the thing is, if I am getting too close to, kind of like the first thing I said, if I'm getting too close to what I want, and I don't believe that I deserve it, I don't know how to process that. What I will do is I will blow it up, because that is the way to mitigate and manage the level of injury or impact that I believe the destruction of this relationship will cause. Okay, I know that was a lot of words. So essentially, hey, doing this new thing is scary and I might get hurt. So instead of me getting hurt where I can't control it, I am going to blow. It's like control. You know how when they do those buildings, and instead of dropping a bomb on it and the whole thing explodes, they implode it. They systematically deconstruct it. That's what we're doing sometimes when we self-sabotage. We're like, hey, if I let this go, if I fall in love, if I go 110% in, if I restore this relationship, oh, all my people is getting on. Hey, um, if I do that, if I let this go and I am vulnerable in a relationship, if I go for the promotion and I get it, if I am successful in my endeavors and then it doesn't work out, then I would be devastated. So let me just not try to get promoted. Let me just hold back on my relationships. Let me just not do that thing, because then I won't get hurt as bad. And so my whole goal for this live was to challenge somebody who feels as though they're on the precipice of that self-sabotage. They see it, they feel it coming. Just go with it. Go with not the self-sabotage, go with in the direction of the thing that you want, and be okay with, hey, this might not work out, but things have not worked out before. I might get hurt. I have gotten hurt before. I am able to recover. If you want to be in a relationship that's full and has access of range of emotions, you can have intimacy and be vulnerable with that person. You can't pull back every time something gets hard or scary. So my encouragement to you is, hey, it might not work out, but you'll never know if you blow it up before it gets there. If you sabotage it before it gets there. If you recreate the environment you've always had, you're going to get what you have always gotten. If I do the same thing over and over and over and over again and expect a different result, is that wisdom or is that folly? So in any event, like I said, I'm going to get off here because I do not want to get caught up in time scandals. I'm trying to live with integrity and righteousness. But I wanted to give somebody some encouragement, right? I wanted to give somebody a peace of mind and say, yes, we do this. You are not alone if this is a pattern that you find yourself in. We have done it. I've done it. I don't know if you have, if you are alive and you have done it. If you have done it, if you have done it, you're not alone. But my encouragement to you is to not keep repeating the cycle, right? Keep repeating the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different result. I pray that you have a blessed rest of your day. Pray for all, hold on, not you, but doing the same thing over and over again. Yes. The mindset will determine your outcome. If it's not working, change your way of thinking. I know that's right. That's an excellent point. Both Miss Lynn and Miss Do It Yourself. I don't know that I know your first name. I got to do some research. I follow you. I'm a subscriber. I'm on your page. I know your alter ego, but I don't think I know your first name. But anyway, the mindset. Here's the thing that I will say. Hey, Miss Adrian. What I will say is, because y'all know I'm easy to distract. Y'all pray for me. What I will say is the only part of the paradigm that we can shift and change is ourselves. A lot of times people, especially in traumatic situations and relationships, and they have replicate the paradigm, they put all of the emphasis, all of the blame, all of the onus or responsibility on the other person. That is an error, because the only person that I can change in any given paradigm is myself. So that is an excellent point. You have to change your perspective, your way of thinking, your way of operating. I can't control other people. I can control how I respond to them. And I can control that is where your control lies, in your behaviors, your responses, your mindset, your way of thinking. So I pray you guys have an amazing rest of your day. Thank you so much for taking the time out to join me here. I'm going to be trying to do a little bit more lives because it helps me. Amen. It helps me not be so clinical and not be so scripted. So this goofy, that's me. That's how I am. I don't know if y'all can tell in the comment section. This is who I am. So I'm going to be trying to do some more lives. Thank you guys for joining me. I pray that it blessed you. I pray that if it impacted you in any way, please share it out. Thank you for taking a moment to sit with me. And if there's something that you would like me to talk about in terms of clinical information, please. Thank you. Yes, this is Black owned. I'm supporting Black, like, hey, I support all the people, but February. This is from Koi. So KHOI, Black owned artist, I believe in Chicago. Lovely stuff online. So check her out if you haven't already. Love her stuff. But thank you so much. So I'll be doing some more of these. If you have anything you want me to talk about, please send me a comment on this video once it uploads, and I will be more than happy to do that. If there's any special prayers or interventions, please put them there too. Y'all have a blessed and amazing day. Thank you guys for joining.